So here we are, welcome to my channel. My name is Randomised and we are here. I'm so eager to start this. This is the third and final of the original Ratchet and Clank trilogy, and this is going to be our Let's Challenge to complete the series we've obviously done. Let's Challenges of Ratchet Clank 1 and 2, and now we are here on to 3. We're going to try and complete this game with our Let's Challenge rules. So for those of you who have never been on my channel before, welcome, and let me describe to you what a Let's Challenge is. So the Let's Challenge works by I give myself a fixed, a set number of lives to essentially go through the game and try and utilise. So essentially, these lives are usually based on, for PS3 games, they'll also be based around trophies and stuff like that. In this game, obviously, this is Ratchet and Clank. So Ratchet and Clank, the original 3, were not on, not originally, obviously, on PlayStation 3, though originally released on the PlayStation 2. I do have the PS3 versions here, the Ratchet and Clank collection. But obviously, we're still not going to use trophies. I don't feel like trophies fit the Ratchet and Clank ethos. What's Ratchet and Clank about? Ratchet and Clank was about crazy, crazy weapons, I always feel like. So, we're going to be talking about the weapons here. So, as with my previous two things in the series, previous to Let's Challenges on Ratchet and Ratchet Clank 2, we are going to be using weapons as our limits. So, for every weapon that I fully upgrade, and in this game that's going to be a lot more difficult because weapons upgrade to level 5, so they upgrade 4 times. I'm going to have to wait till they get to level 5 before I get my first life. And then once I have some lives every time I die, I lose a life, and essentially I've got to try and beat the game without running out of lives. So obviously, throughout the first part of this series, we're going to be on 0 lives for a relatively long time until I get my first weapon up to level 5. And then once we have a weapon up to level 5, we're going to then be able to... and then we'll have a life to play around with. But I love this game. This is probably my favourite PS2 game. I dare say... Yeah, I think this is my favourite PS2 game. I think this is honestly the best game in the series. It's got the best. I think it's got the best story. I think it's got some of the best characters. I think it's got just the best weapons and the best levels. It's such a good game. It takes Ratchet and Clank and just the original and just turns it upside down and turns it amazing. It takes everything that Ratchet and Clank 2 was great about Ratchet and Clank 2 and makes it even better. And Ratchet and Clank 2 was a fantastic game. And this was the game that really pipped the Jak and Daxter series for me. Like, before, I'd love Jak 2, I'd love Jak 3, I'd love Jak and Daxter, the original, but this is such a special game to me. It's my favourite PS2 game. That doesn't necessarily mean it was the one I played the most. I think I probably played more Jak X and Ratchet Gladiator, because those two games are just pure fun, and you know, obviously you don't need to worry about going through a story and all this sort of stuff. So, I love this game for what it is. I think it's pretty much, like I said, it's one of my favourite games of all time. I'm so looking forward to going through this. And hopefully we can smash it out the park with this Let's Challenge, because we've been doing pretty well on the Let's Challenges recently, and I really want to continue on with that. So, we are here, we're going to start a new game here on Ratchet Clank 3. So, just for, obviously, the record, just so you know what's been going on here, as we actually have the opening cutscene.
Snagglebeast devours your mutant swamp fly. Oh yeah, I bet you didn't see that one coming. Hey, what are you doing? Check and mate. What? That's cheating! On the contrary, the rules clearly state that the Blargian Snagglebeast has an allergic reaction to swamp flies that last 2 turns. Ooh, it is on again.
Your luck is extraordinary, sir. But do you lose as gracefully as you win?
I would not know, Maximilian. I never lose.
There is a first time for everything. Agent Clank! is secret agent.
Shocking. Bring the car around, Jeeves. And mind the ejector seat this time.
Stay tuned for more Secret Agent Clank.
That was terrific.
Yeah, great. Change the channel.
But the man said to stay tuned.
We continue our live coverage from Veldin. Just hours ago, the planet was attacked without warning by a terrifying alien race known as the Tyrannoids. Officials believe that an evil robotic supervillain known as Dr. Nefarious is the mastermind behind the Tyrannoid attack. As you can see, the Galactic Rangers are putting up a valiant fight, but they are no match for these tentacle-eyed terrors. Indeed, this backwater planet may be completely destroyed in a matter of hours. Darla Gratch, Channel 64 News.
We're going home. But Veldin is in a Solana galaxy. Oh no, not the gravimetric warp drive. The untested gravimetric warp drive? The one you built from bloggy and scrap metal? Coming? We are doomed.
You were saying?
I stand corrected.
I just hope we're not too late.
So there we have it, the opening cutscene. We're going to arrive here on planet Veldin. And what I was just about to say beforehand is that unfortunately what happened over the break, obviously I had a brief break of upload, relatively large break with uploading because I was at university and I didn't really have the capability to upload, certainly not from my PS3. But the one thing that happened during that time was my PS3 unfortunately broke. Literally, somewhat like small explosion happened. And because of that, I've had to get a new PS3, which means all of these files are brand new. What that means for this game in particular is there are certain benefits that you can get if you have previous saved files from Ratchet Clank and Ratchet Clank 2. Obviously, I will not be using those benefits. One, because I can't, because I obviously don't have files of those games on my new PS3. And also because I wouldn't want to make the game too easy for myself, so we're going to try and keep things as difficult as possible. So anyway, here we are, on planet Veldin. We're going to get our first introduction to the Galactic Rangers here, and these guys, I really enjoyed the introduction of these guys to this game.
These must be the Galactic Rangers.
Hey, look! It's a new sergeant!
Huh?
Hey, Sarge, you can have my gun. There's too many of them! We're all gonna die!
Press circle to fire your shock blaster.
And there we go, we get our first weapon, the shock blaster.
You can reverse the camera controls in the options menu.
And we see that our first sort of experience with these Tyrannoid enemies. Pop down here for some more small enemies. We're going to quickly want to put the thruster pack on Clank. I always prefer the thruster pack personally, but that's just me. What on earth happened there? There we go, lovely.
I'm glad to see you, Sarge. We're pinned down like an enemy vehicle. Somebody's gotta take it out.
Let me guess. That somebody is me.
You gotta volunteer. Here, Sarge, take this. We'll cover you. From back there.
I love it for that. From back there.
Try using the nitro launcher against that vehicle.
I love how the little touch of that vehicle where you have like the larger Tyrannoid and then four of the smaller Tyrannoids all inside that little vehicle. That's a really nice touch. So this first level shouldn't cause us any problems, as you would expect for a first level.
Select weapons, hold... Hold L1.
Yes. Okay. So we'll continue to obviously we can break these for some more bolts. Bolts are obviously super important. just want to try something. Let's turn that to normal. I know a lot of people like using lock strafe mode. I personally don't. Like, I appreciate the benefits of lock strafe mode, but I much rather prefer having being able to control my own strafing, as it were. There's still problems with this. Either dual inverted or dual. Lovely.
The maximum nanotech level has increased.
So obviously, this game follows on a hell of a lot of the features that were introduced in Ratchet Clank 2, such as obviously your nanotech increasing just by defeating lots of enemies. You also get the weapon upgrade system's obviously upgraded, but it's become even better. We now get multiple upgrades per weapon. Hopefully, you'll be able to. I doubt a lot of the time that the guys from Rangers don't seem to be having too much trouble with the Tyranids, but we come in and just finish them off. Pretty much the first section of Velden complete. I'm certainly going to try and complete this planet, maybe even the next planet as well, in this episode. So, boxes up there. This is obviously Ratchet's old sort of shop, whatever, sort of back where we found him in Ratchet Clank 1.
What's the situation?
The Lords have fallen back to a base in F sector. We have orders to go in and take them out. F sector? No. Game over, man. We're all gonna end up as scrap metal.
Get back in there, trooper. We've got a planet to save.
Yes, sir.
I like the relationship they give sort of Ratchet, who sort of gets to inspire all of these rather cowardly robots into sort of you know, trying their hardest to actually be better. Okay, so we have our first Ratchet Clank Halo jump, as it were. We're going to just sink through. Obviously, most of these missiles are nothing to worry about. I believe actually none of these missiles are actually anything we need to worry about. In later sections, obviously, we do actually have to start dodging missiles, but the ones that you have to dodge are actually very specific. Our guys are too efficient. They're doing too good a job of killing these guys.
Doors open. Look out!
Beautiful. Can I also say that I think the music in this game is some of the best. Some of the best of the series. There are some really, really memorable themes. I just love, like, even this is a great sort of theme to start the game off. You have this sort of really frantic and dramatic sort of thing as we deal with this invasion of our home planet. Just sort of, you know, puts all the stress, puts all of the, you know, emphasis back on what that this actually, you know, is personal to Ratchet and stuff, and it's meaningful in the right way. Anyway, so we're pretty much very close to the end of this little section now. You can see the troopers just over the side of here that we can actually take out. This little section, I'm pretty sure, is just here to sort of introduce you to strafing, but it's obviously really simple. And then we can pop over here and finish off Velvet.
Sir, we have a transmission from the president. How are things on the front lines, soldier? Is that secret agent Clank?
Greetings, sir. We're here to help.
Well, this is an honor. I see you brought your chauffeur along.
No. Hold on a second, sir.
Agent Clank, we must stop Dr. Nefarious. As you may know, only one man has ever faced him and survived. I've just received a top secret report on that man's whereabouts. Here, take a look.
On tonight's episode of Nature's Mysteries, we examine the Florana tree beast. Deep in the dense growth of Florana's Jambu forest lives a mysterious creature. Or maybe he doesn't. It's one of Nature's Mysteries.
I've seen him run right through our camping site. He was buck naked, screaming and holding a banana. Or maybe it weren't a banana. It could be.
One of Nature's Mysteries. Legend tells that this mysterious creature is actually one of the greatest superheroes who ever lived. Shamed by his recent past, he is now one of Nature's Mysteries. Tune in and find out the answers.
We need you to find this man. The fate of the galaxy may depend on it.
Are you sure this is the guy you're looking for, Mr. President? Yeah, he seems like kind of a, wacko.
You may be right, but he's the best chance we've got. I know you boys won't let me down.
You can count on us, sir.
So off we go to planet Florana, and I think Florana's a great sort of second planet. One of the glitches on the HD collection is that the sounds of the ship sort of zipping by obviously all of these sort of ship transitions do not actually match up with the correct sort of movement of the ship. Obviously there's like several stock animations of the ship sort of zooming through the air, and it never really correlates to the right one sound. But here we are on planet Florana, and we're going to be able to get our third new weapon, being the Plasma Whip. And let's just be honest, what's cooler than having a whip like this? That, like it's not the most useful weapon, I will say, but it's really satisfying.
Your controller can be configured with multiple buttons.
It's one of the most annoying ones. It's one of the more annoying ones in that, for some reason, it's a melee weapon with ammo, and I never think that that's like a good idea, but there we go. So we start sort of seeing these relative jungle natives. We have these guys, who are some of the those big sort of beasts are pretty much the most dangerous enemies in this section, I would say. So, one of the other things that this game introduced was new types of crates. So this is a bolt multiplier crate, that one.
The jackpot crate multiplies all bolts and experience gained for a limited time.
So we just use the we can just use the nitro launcher just to increase the amount, just to make it easier that we collect all of these bolts. As best as we can. So we'll continue to break all of these. Obviously, when we come back, if we were to come back to this planet with like the box breaker, which allows you to break boxes with just a single hyper strike, we'd actually be able to get like all of those super fast. But there we go. So, of these sort of natives, these sort of primitive-looking guys, there are two types. You essentially have the melee ones, and they're pretty much the only ones we've seen so far. And then that guy who I just killed, he would have been a... he would throw a weapon, kind of like a boomerang, that would sort of, you know, zip around, and you'd have to dodge it. Okay, so that is that.
To perform a high jump, hold R1 and press X.
Come back here for even more bolts and collectible, sort of bolts and ammo. We should get a weapon upgrade pretty soon, I'd imagine. Certainly, there we go. So our first weapon upgrade.
Your weapon has upgraded. Weapons upgrade automatically when they're used frequently. Hold circle to charge up the shot blaster for a more powerful.
So essentially,
You can climb
the other thing that you find with this game is that the upgrades are far more sort of significant in terms of the weapon upgrades. So you start seeing a very big differences. So like in this case, our shot blaster can now do a much more powerful attack rather than just the usual. It's just usual power, which is really handy. And yeah, you get that with the vast majority of the weapons in this game sort of end up, you know, get essentially when they upgrade, you get a far more sort of significant change, as it were. Just max out our ammo, continue to make our way around. The reason I was checking there is I know that there is a collectible hidden. As you can see, it's actually just there. If you look on top of the building on our left, you can see a trophy there, and that's another new set of collectibles. And the way I usually do my Let's Challenges of Ratchet Clank games is that I try and collect all of the collectibles. So in this case, the collectibles are titanium bolts, I believe they are. I think we have titanium bolts, and we have so titanium bolts and we have obviously those trophies, so character trophies, and the reason you want to collect all the trophies is that eventually, if you collect all the trophies, you get access to the Insomniac Museum. So you notice that I did not go for the what's called an Inferno crate. Ow. The Inferno crate would have been the red crate behind us that sort of had the flames on it. And what that allows you to do, essentially gives you invulnerability. It gives you invulnerability and makes your wrench attack a hell of a lot stronger. But obviously the issue with that is that I'm not upgrading my weapons if my wrench is what I'm using. So we can wall jump up here. And now we can actually collect that trophy, I'm pretty sure, by essentially just walking around the outside of this building. And there we go, the first trophy. And rather aptly, it is the Ratchet trophy. Is that the way we want to go? I think this just drops us down back here, just outside the building. So I'll show you what this does.
Inferno mode. Your armor and wrench attack have been greatly increased for a limited time.
So there you go, yeah. So essentially means that your wrench attack will like one-shot most enemies, and your
jump, then press X in midair while next to a
know how
wall.
to wall jump. And you also can't use you can't use weapons when you're in Inferno mode, but obviously you are invulnerable, so that's really it's not too much of a worry. So we'll take this next sort of zip line down to this next area. We'll see two of those big dudes. I think the ability to throw the whip makes it really, really useful as a weapon. So there we go, we'll take out those two big guys, and now we can take out these guys. Lovely. You can break these for some more bolts. You can obviously do it like that if that suits prefers. I believe I only broke two. I don't know, it's my OCD that wants me to break all of these. I feel like the first person view is actually not inverted, whereas everything else is inverted, which is just really annoying me. Yeah. So first person is currently not inverted, whereas my views otherwise are, so that's why I'm sort of not doing this as fast as possible. Anyway, so we'll break all of these, and then we'll be able to move on. The reason I just wanted to break all of these because we want to get to 15,000 so that we can buy the next weapon. We obviously want to get as many weapons as fast as possible. Another thing is that this game increased on sort of like the quick select features here, so what we can now do is we can actually cycle between the last 3 weapons we used, which is really handy. Oh, you're good. So there we go, and now we're pretty much close to finishing off this little section.
Ratchet, we have company.
Where?
Behind you.
Where?
Behind you.
Very funny. You having a good time?
You trespass on sacred ground. Now you walk path of death.
But, sir.
Path of death.
So we have the path of death here, as it's called. Really nothing to be particularly worried about. We can actually just straight up leave. If you just head out this way, you can end up back here and break more. Sort of. Okay, so that does not break him. So yeah, so we got a new weapon. We got the N60 Storm, is it? I think it's called the N60 Storm. Upgrades to the N90 Hurricane. And this sort of takes the place of like the sort of standard sort of like the Lancer weapon in the first game. It's just sort of like a medium range, a rapid fire weapon. It's pretty powerful at the start of the game, which makes it very handy. So, there is a skill point associated with the Path of Death. If you complete it without being hit, you get a skill point. That is largely very easy to do.
To center the camera, tap
There's only a
L1.
couple areas where like you're actually going to probably be worried about this. Another thing is there is our first titanium bolt of the game. Lovely. Pretty sure there aren't any others on this planet, but I might be wrong. Has been a fair while since I've played this game, so. So yeah, I won't be trying to get all of the skill points. I'll get a fair few most likely through the course of the game. Stuff like getting most of like all of the like titanium bolts and stuff. But I'm not gonna like outright try and get most of the skill points. So, this pattern's really easy, essentially. You just want to take every other one along the middle, and those ones never light up in fire, so you'll always be safe. And then this bit right here can be the end of any sort of Path of Death run, because you could get caught by any of those boulders as they fall down, but thankfully we don't. That will be Path of Death. We get that skill point, you might have heard the sound for it.
Not me.
Okay, we walked your path of death. Now, tell us what you know about Dr. Nefarious.
Huh?
Dr. Nefarious! They say you're the only man to ever beat him.
Huh?
This guy's even dumber than...
Captain Quark?
Yeah, Captain... Woo! That's it, Quark. You've had this coming for a long time.
So it naturally turns out to be Captain Quark, and we finally get the chance to sort of enact our vengeance from like everything that's happened in previous games. So essentially, the way this bottle balance all goes is that he summons several enemies occasionally. Ow. I'm just trying to use the plasma whip some more. Doing a very nice job of actually taking them out. There we go, lovely. So we defeat Quark, complete Florana.
So, Quark has completely lost his mind. Now what?
Just keep the mask on. He thinks you are his new leader.
Great.
Incoming call.
This is Captain Sasha of the Starship Phoenix. The President has asked me to assist you.
Hi.
I see you have located Captain Quark.
Yeah, we got him, but, well, he thinks he's a monkey.
Of course. Bring him to the Phoenix and we'll see what we can do. Sasha out.
So we'll fly off to sort of like our little hub area for this game, which is the Starship Phoenix, and after we have the sort of introductions there, we will call this episode to an end. It's been a very successful episode, obviously we've started this, and I am so looking forward to continuing on with this game and getting to the point where we can get into the later levels and really, just really enjoying this game.
Look at that, Clank. This ship is amazing.
Welcome aboard the Phoenix, gentlemen.
Whoa.
Impressive, isn't she? The Phoenix is the pride of the galactic fleet. She's equipped with the latest technology. Holodeck training suite, auto vendors for armor and weapons, virtual firing range, starfighter upgrade system, even a Gadgetron VG-9000 game system.
A VG-9000?
Of course. With a Mavix Fireball Pro controller, VR headset, and a zero-G dance pad attachment.
Will you marry me?
Well, you've obviously had an exhausting trip. Why don't you stop by your quarters? We prepared a custom living area for Quark, so he won't get in your way. Come meet me on the bridge when you're ready.
To view the world.
So there we go, like I said, we are going to finish off this episode here as we arrive on the Phoenix. There is everything for us to explore when we're here on the Phoenix, but we will be doing that at the start of the next episode. I hope you have enjoyed this episode. I hope you will join me on the next.